All right, what's up, guys? I have a quick Bitcoin update here for you guys, and I'm gonna take a look at the altcoin market as well. So first of all, we're looking at Bitcoin right here on the 4-hour, and I'm not sure if you read the Bitcoin report from yesterday, but it looks like we obviously never had the reclaim of range EQ right here, but we didn't have a break and retest of range EQ, but we definitely reclaimed it, right? We broke above it and we broke above range high. So the break above range EQ, the 56k region, led us to a move up to the range high area up here, obviously, and we now see a very nice break and retest of the range highs with a beautiful rounded retest on 1 hour right here. And I'm potentially seeing a setup right here. So let's take a look at that one. We're on the 1 hour right here, and I'm gonna go down into the 15 minute, and we're gonna look at the current the breakout move. And I'm thinking we want to add some fibs to that breakout move. Let's look at the 1 hour. What low would make sense? On the 1 hour, I would select. So on the 1 hour, I would look at that low, right? But on the 15 minute, I would look at that low right there, because that would be like, this would be the breakout move. And I know that if I'm using that low right here and that high, the RLC will be here, so that makes little sense. But if I use that low and this high, the RLC will be here. So that makes more sense from that perspective, but you can't really do that. You can't just choose the one which, you think feels best. It's not really how that works, but I do for some reason like this low right here, because it's a bounce of that level right here, right? So that's a good SR level right here. So get a reclaim of the SR level right here. So I do think it makes sense to use that low and that high. Right, so let's do that. Put the fibs on. And there we have it. The 0.618 comes in perfectly on the white dotted lines here, which would be the range highs. So you see how you have a 1 hour bullish engulfing with a 1 hour stochastic spot cross right on that range highs confluent with the 618. This is a good level to be buying. And I'm actually thinking there might be a trade here. So let's add the moving averages. First the 4 hour 20 and 50. Not giving us much right here. The weekly and monthly open. The moving averages on the 1 hour, and this is what you want to see, right? We got the 20, the 50, and the 100 on the 1 hour right here. And you see that price hits the 20 EMA, which is in perfect confluence with the 0.618 here and the range high. So this is a pretty good area. You have, at least on the 1 hour, pretty good confluence right here. Now if you go to the 4 hour, you're going to see something completely different. You're going to see the stochastics RSI coming in the overbought territory. You're going to see price hitting resistance on the higher time frames on the daily. You're actually moving right into high time frame resistance area. So the question here is, if you're going to take the trade on the 1 hour, you're going to trade against the system, or at least my system. This means if you're taking the trade on the 1 hour, you're actually trading against your own system on the 4 hour and the daily. And my system is mainly based on the 4 hour and the daily, so that is my main time frames. But I'm mostly trading the Forex market, right? And in the Forex market, that works great. Now in the Bitcoin market, it moves a little bit faster, and it makes sense to go maybe 1 or 2 time frames lower, which would be the 1 hour. So instead of the 4 hour and the daily, you could look at the 4 hour and the 1 hour as entry confirmation timeframes. And looking at the behavior of Bitcoin in the last couple of weeks, or actually the whole general bull market, it has been that the major breakouts never get retested. So you get a breakout and it just doesn't really retest that. But if you look at the breakouts on the 1 hour, you'll see that you see something similar to this setup right here prior to the breakout. So I'm thinking if Bitcoin is going to break out here, this would be a pretty decent area to be a buyer. And what I like about this setup in particular is that the last take profit for this trade would be right below 60K. So it would all actually mean that you're going long for a fill of this whole resistance area, but then you're exiting, right? So you're going long into resistance, but you're exiting while that whole resistance zone has been covered, right? So it kind of makes sense, right? Because you're not going long hoping for a major breakout. You're going long is to see a smaller push to the upside to fill a bigger resistance gap or resistance area. So the setup that I have in mind is going to be this one, right? You see how you have on the 15 minute, you have this trend line right here. Kind of goes like that. You have a break in market structure here, where price kind of goes like this. You broke market structure right here, and I would now look to go and place my buy orders in this area with stops below the 0.702, TP2, TP1, TP2, and then above would be TP3. So the setup would look like this. Buy orders right here. Stop loss depends. Yeah, stop loss would probably be down here. That would be the trade, and the average R of this trade would be somewhere around 2.2, 2.3, so decent risk reward, small scalp-ish trade. But that's basically what I'm looking at on Bitcoin, and I'm might not take this trade, but I will definitely keep it on here as a trade setup to kind of paper trade it and monitoring it, because like I said, it's not a perfect scenario for my own trading system and trading style, which is based on a daily and the 4 hour. This is something that I keep on developing, and it's something I keep on testing. So I keep on taking these paper trades just to gather some statistics on the system based on the 1 hour, right? And from what I can see right now, Bitcoin, it tends to work out quite nicely on Bitcoin, while in the 4 hour, while in the Forex market, you want that 4 hour confirmation with confluence on the daily instead of using the 1 hour as an entry trigger. Right, so what do I think Bitcoin will do here? I think Bitcoin is going to see a push to the upside. I think we're going to come up and test the 60K region. Now that is like, this is a pretty big resistance area right here. So I do think that that area will be used as resistance. But if we break above 60K, I'm definitely thinking all-time highs are in the table, in the next coming days. That's what I'm thinking on Bitcoin. Now, if we do get rejected here at the at this current resistance area, which is between, let's say, 58 and 60K, a rejection here, and I'm definitely looking at the daily 20 EMA as a very high probability bounce area, the area between 51 and 52K, and also where you have the daily 20 EMA. High probability, in my opinion, that we are going to see a bounce there if we do see a rejection at current prices. Now let's look at some altcoins, because I do feel like the altcoin market is actually preparing for something nice here. So look at the BTC dominance. Yeah, BTC dominance here is actually falling. It's testing this support region for the second time, and it kind of looks like we are now in a low time frame local bearish market structure in an overall bullish market structure, which means that altcoins are still to be considered. I guess in this situation right here, I would view altcoins as neutral in terms of risk. So I have, you can talk about risk in terms of risk on, risk off, and then neutral. So when altcoins is in a risk on environment, you want to be buying altcoins. You want to be increasing exposure to the altcoin market. When altcoins are in a risk off environment, you want to be decreasing your exposure to altcoins. And when you are in a neutral state, you want to be sidelined and wait for a proper direction, or take a small risk on if you think it's going to develop into risk off or risk on environment. Right now, I'd say we are in a neutral position where it looks likely that altcoins will perform quite well, break this area to the downside, and it's confirmed that we are most likely heading into a risk on environment for altcoins. So let's look at the altcoin indices. We got the Birb. Well, this paints a very, very clear picture right here. We have a bullish break in market structure. We now have a higher low and possibly printing a higher high. It looks like we have an uptrend forming here on the Birb, the altcoin index on FTX. So that in combination with the BTC dominance looking the way it's looking, and Bitcoin looking strong but not pumping like crazy, makes me think that we get some good altcoin setups here. And we do have XRP and HBAR, which is our two main setups right now that I'm watching, and it looks like it could turn out well here for HBAR. The trade setup here that I posted yesterday was based on going long on a break and retest of the buy zone right here. The 4-hour candle is going to close in 12 minutes, and when that happens, I will upgrade that trade setup to an official call for this being the buy zone. And we're also looking at XRP, which is now an active call. Hopefully you guys got filled, because it does look like it's running out of the buy zone right here with a beautiful break and retest of the buy zone. So yeah, I think we did time the altcoin market quite nicely here with HBAR and XRP. And so far so good. Everything is running as we've hoped for. So yeah, let's just enjoy the gains and keep exposure to a minimum. Do not enter too many altcoins, because when one gets wrecked, all of them most likely gets wrecked. So manage your risk accordingly and take it easy. All right, guys, that's it. Take care and have a great Thursday.